Hi guys! Today I'm going to be talking about something that I think I'm qualified to talk about. I'm 16. I've been in a relationship for 2 years. Well, almost 2 years. So I think I have a pretty good idea of what a good relationship looks like. And I'm a child of divorce, so I think I know what a failed relationship looks like. So I thought, why not once a month I'll do a video giving advice. And I thought, like, so maybe every 17th, because today's the 17th, but when I post it, it'll be the 18th. So I guess every 18th of the month I can do an advice video. But since I didn't ask beforehand for what advice to do, I just kind of came up with a topic today, which is how to make a relationship last, and that, which I just explained. I'm pretty sure I consider myself qualified to teach, but if you think that I'm too young to be giving advice on this subject, then you don't have to watch the video, but maybe just watch it, see if you like the advice, and if you don't, then agree to disagree. Hopefully this helps someone out there, though. So there are only 5 things that I'm going to cover today, even though there are a lot of things I think are important, but I tend to talk a lot. And so to keep this video kind of short, maybe if you wanted to do another topic kind of like this, I can. But let's just keep this video short because I obviously talk a lot, like it's already almost 2 minutes. Okay, let's just go with the first one. Number 1. And I put it in order from least important, even though none of them are like unimportant, they're all important, but least important to most important. To me, at least. First is, what is first? First is simply telling your significant other that you care and showing them that you care. So to go a little bit more into depth about this one, obviously you're going to want to tell the person you're with that you care about them, but some people, I think, or I've noticed, don't really tell their significant other enough, thus making them feel unappreciated, taken for granted, and therefore the relationship will not be able to last, or one of the people in the relationship will just start slowly feeling more and more bad about themselves, or that they're not good enough for the other person, or something along those lines. Like this, I've seen this happen before with, well, I can't name names, but I've seen this happen before, and I know this to be true with certain couples. That one person completely seems to take the other person for granted, and even if that's not true in your head, even if you're like, I'm not taking them for granted, I love them. Well, are you telling them that you love them? Maybe your significant other doesn't like to be like smothered and like told that they're loved all the time, and that's fine. You don't have to constantly be telling them how much you love them, but doing little things to show that you care. I don't mean like giving them a love letter every day or like things like that, but consistently, like I mean throughout the entire relationship, not just when you're first dating. Doing little things just to show that you care about them, and maybe it seems like they don't notice, but they'll appreciate it. And when you stop doing those things, like if you stop, I promise you they'll notice. I'm sorry, my siblings are being very loud in the background, and you guys probably can't hear them, but I can. It's annoying me. Yeah, so that's just, to me, it's definitely a big one. And telling them, this one might seem kind of weird, but I would lump it together with number 1 still. Telling them that you find them attractive. Maybe, I think some girls expect it from their boyfriends for them to call them beautiful and these things, which of course, like, you should. Every now and then throw it in that you think your girlfriend is attractive or boyfriend is attractive. But I think sometimes, now this is just my thinking, that doesn't mean that this is necessarily true, but I think girls tend to forget sometimes that it goes the other way. Like, the guy also probably wants to hear that, maybe you don't use the word like beautiful, but the guy wants to hear that you find him attractive too, I'm sure. So just make sure that he knows that wouldn't it feel nice to know that you're the only one that your boyfriend or girlfriend sees? You're the only one that your boyfriend or girlfriend is really feeling that attraction to. And you just have to make sure that they know that. Like, every once in a while, just let them know. Like, it might seem dumb and a superficial thing, and you might think that your boyfriend or girlfriend doesn't care about that, but I promise you it helps. Like, it definitely will help. That doesn't mean every single minute of the day, oh, you're so beautiful, oh, you're gorgeous, but a little compliment here and there, like, not just when you're first dating too, like, keep it going. Okay, so that I kind of all lumped into number 1, but let's just go to number 2, which is honesty. So honesty obviously is a big one, which seems kind of obvious, but I'd like to explain it a little bit more into depth. Not just being honest with the person about things that they ask about. Tell them things that maybe they didn't ask about but would appreciate knowing. I don't know how to explain it very well, but I'll use an example. Like, let's say your boyfriend or girlfriend is going to go out and hang out with his friends or her friends. Wouldn't it feel nice to have him or her tell you beforehand, hey, just letting you know, I'm hanging out with my friends. Maybe there'll be some girls there. Like, if they're gonna be the other, well, how do I say, if maybe it's not that kind of relationship with you, but I appreciate it when my boyfriend tells me, like, hey, I'm going to work on a group project or something, and there are going to be a couple girls there. Just, like, I don't know, I really appreciate it. When we first started dating, he told me one time, he was like, hey, I'm going to be working on this group project. There are going to be a couple girls there, but guys too. Like, I'm just letting you know so that you don't think anything. I just want you to know that you can trust me, so you don't think anything weird is going on. And so, I don't know, I really appreciated that coming from, I mean, I myself have trust issues, so that, like, really, I really appreciated. And I'm pretty sure it's not just me, like, I'm sure many girls and guys would appreciate it if you told them, like, maybe it seems like something that's kind of dumb and that, like, you don't have to tell them everything you're doing all the time, but if it seems like something that maybe would be worth knowing to them, then it's not gonna hurt you to tell them, if that makes any sense. It'll just make them feel like they can trust you more. And in return, they'll give you the respect of giving you that same honesty. So then they'll be telling you, hey, because you told me before, then I feel like I can tell you, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends, and maybe a couple guys are gonna be there, or whatever. Like, I'm just using that as an example. There are plenty of other things you should be honest with about, like, if you're gonna go out and, I don't know, if it seems like something that your significant other might want to know, then tell them. Like, if they find out later and you hadn't told them, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal, it's going to become a big deal because it's going to feel like it was hidden from you. But if you tell them, then it won't escalate to that. I hope I'm making sense. I don't feel like I explained that one very well, but maybe you guys kind of understand what I mean. So number 3 goes along with that, sort of, which is trust. So, of course, in a relationship, you have to have trust. Like, trust is what a relationship is built upon, of course. So, you hear that many times, I'm sure. But trust, you have to make sure that the person knows you trust them. Even if, me personally, I'm just going to say, like, I know I have trust issues. I'm kind of a jealous person. I have my reasons. from past experiences, and I'm a child of divorce, you know, these whole things, but I have trust issues. I'm aware of that. I can get overly jealous. But I have to sometimes just take a minute, sit back and be like, wait, maybe I'm overreacting and I should probably put more trust into the situation. And in return, they should be decent enough to give you that trust back. Of course, sometimes there are reasons that you shouldn't trust that person. Of course, there'll be situations where maybe you really shouldn't trust, like, what that person's saying. Maybe they are lying to you. Like, I can't tell you 100% that the person you're with is going to be 100% honest with you and that you should trust them 100%. But if you don't feel that you can, then maybe that's not the relationship for you. Number 4. So this one is understanding. The best way I can explain this is, I know people in relationships tend to tend to get angry quickly with things that maybe we didn't have to get angry about, like, but the way that happens is it escalates in our mind so much we bottle it up and we don't, you know, and it kind of just explodes. But what you need to understand is, let's say, I don't know the situation you'd be angry, but let's say you're angry at your significant other for some reason, and in your head it's really just boiling in your head and it's bottled up and you're ready to kind of just explode on them when you see them. But you have to just think about it. You have to take a step back from the situation. Give yourself a while to cool off, however long you feel like it needs to be to think about it. Maybe even give it a day to think about. And after that day is over, if you're still upset, of course you can talk to the person about why you're upset, but don't come at them like yelling and shouting. I think they'll end up appreciating it a lot more, and it's not going to become a giant, full-blown argument if you come to them with, like, respectfully, like, hey, I noticed this, or hey, I'm really feeling this, like, instead of coming at them yelling, like, why were you talking to her? Who's this girl? What's her name? Like, I don't know the situation that you'd be angry about, but instead of, like, shouting at them and going like this, just take a deep breath. Think, do I really need to be upset with this situation, or am I overreacting? Because I overreact a lot. I know that personally, and I'm sure there are other people out there in relationships who overreact as well. And then when you look back at it, you're like, really, was that worth fighting over? And it probably wasn't, and it could have been prevented if you just thought about it, take it in, and then just let it go if you don't think it's important anymore after that day. And if you do think it's important after the day, talk to them about it. But now that you had the time to calm down, you'll probably be able to talk about it in a calmer fashion. If that makes any sense. So 6, I think, kind of goes, 5 I think kind of goes with that. But it's not to give up so easily. I see this time and time again in real life, on TV shows, I guess that's it, TV shows, real life. But I think couples a lot of times break up over reasons that weren't worth breaking up for. And if you're willing to break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend because, I'm going to use Friends as an example, if you guys have seen Friends, and there's this episode where Ross makes a list about Rachel with pros and cons of why he should date her and why he shouldn't. Yeah, it was this whole thing. You had to watch the episode. And then she finds a list when they start dating, and then she freaks out over it, and she breaks up with him. So, I think that was such a dumb reason to break up. Like, that would be really upsetting, but if you really love the person and you really feel like that relationship is worth it, then you're not going to break up with someone over something like that. Cheating, I can understand, but there aren't many other things that I can understand. Okay, abuse, cheating, things like that, but other than that, like, if you're in the perfect relationship for you, if you're in, if your relationship is meant to be, then you'll be able to work anything out, I think. You should maybe take some time to cool off before you give up so easily, you know? Like, I think a lot of couples break up way too easily. Well, and I guess that means that they weren't meant to be together, right? But I'm saying, if you are meant to be together, then why would you break up with that person for something so small? Is it really worth losing them over? Like, yeah. So the last one, number 6, I think personally is the most important, and it's the one thing I think you should take away from this, if you're going to take away anything from it. So obviously, your significant other fell in love with you for a reason, and you fell in love with them for a reason. So the way that you are in the beginning of the relationship is normally the honeymoon stage, you know, the sweet, loving stage that you always see, like, in movies and blah, blah, blah. To keep it at least somewhat in that stage, just act the way that you did when you were first dating. Do the things like I was talking about earlier, like showing them, to show them that you care, or just keep being honest with them, and all these things like that. Keep having trust in them. All the things that made your relationship great in the beginning, keep that going. Like, too many people, like, just lose it after a while. They just stop showing their significant other that they care. They stop doing things like that, and then the significant other will probably find someone who is willing to show them that they care, and that's how the relationship ends. And it doesn't have to end like that. Like, I know sometimes it's something you don't think about. Like, you don't think about, maybe am I taking this person for granted? Am I forgetting to show them that I care about them? Am I forgetting to do such and such that I did in the beginning of the relationship? Like, we don't really always think about that. And once it's hitting like 3, 4, 5 years, maybe you just stop. And that's not good. That makes the relationship not as amazing as it was in the beginning. And if you want it to stay this amazing that it is right now, continue to treat your partner like that the entire relationship. That's the best advice I can give you. Treat your girl or your guy the same way you did the first week or so you were dating. Put them your first priority. Keep them, like, just to keep them loving you and to keep your relationship amazing. Yeah, that's really, I guess, all the advice I had. And oh crap, I told you guys I'd talk for a long time. That was only 5 things. I'm already at almost 20 minutes. Well, I hope this was somewhat helpful for you guys. I know I'm really bad at explaining things, but the way it is in my head feels like really good advice. So hopefully you enjoyed it, or it was useful to someone out there. Even if I just helped one person out, I would love it. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you have any more things you can add to the list, or if you have anything that you didn't agree with in the list, whatever, let me know. And let me know if you would like me to do videos like this monthly, which I'm probably gonna do, but let me know. So thanks guys. Bye. Oh, thumbnail.